Got to get to my agenda real quick. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the November 14th, 2016 County Commission meeting. I'm going to ask Sheriff Fuson to call the meeting to order. If you would, after he calls it to order, remain standing for the pledge and the invocation.
All rise. Oh yes, this Honorable Board of Commissioners is now in session pursuant to adjournment. Now may God save this state and this Honorable Board of County Commissioners.
Commissioner Brockman, would you lead us in the pledge, please, ma'am?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commissioner Creek, if you'd lead us in our invocation, please.
Our Father and our God, we thank you for your love and your watch care. We thank you for the beautiful day that you provided for us. We thank you for our department heads and our elected officials as they strive to do the best they can to serve the residents of Montgomery County. We've just finished honoring our veterans, but let us continue to honor our veterans who gave their best when they were called upon to serve and protect our country. We pray that you will bless them in their unselfish service to preserve our freedoms and our safety. Bless them abundantly for the hardships they faced. For some gave some and some gave all. We also, Father, we want to give special recognition for those wounded soldiers. We realize that many of our heroes are dealing with physical and emotional wounds that occurred as a result of their time and service for our country. We ask that you will be giving them the best treatment available and that they will be add to your supernatural blessings all the efforts given them to help them. We ask that you, Lord, show them the miracles that they seek and gain health, stability, and wholeness. We ask this Thanksgiving that we remember the hungry, help to remember the jobless, help to remember the homeless, help to remember those who suffer. As we also remember those that need compassion for them. Make us concerned enough to help by word and deed for those who cry out for what we might be able to take for granted. We also pray for our nation and our leaders during these days ahead. It's going to be difficult times in a troubled world. Bring our divided nation together that we might give vision to what you have for us in store. For it's in Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Ms. Jackson, would you please read the roll, please?
We have 21 present and 0 absent.
Thank you, ma'am. It's an honor for me to be down here at this podium tonight. We have several presentations to make, and just looking at the list of presentations, I kind of consider this what maybe will be referred to as Champions Night. We have just a great group of people that we want to recognize tonight. And I'd like to start with our county commissioners. Commissioner Creek, I know you touched on, we just celebrated Veterans Day, and Montgomery County is blessed to have several veterans amongst our ranks. And so we have a very, very small token of our appreciation to you. I'll call your name and give your the branch of the military you served in and your rank. And if you would just come forward, I'll make this presentation. But before you do that, I had the pleasure of going around and talking to or meeting with several county employees that were veterans. And the message that I had for them was the same thing I'd like to say to our commissioners tonight. I didn't serve in the military, but I have a deep, deep appreciation for those that did serve in my heart. I'm standing here at this podium today a free man because of people like y'all, and I can assure you that your efforts defending our freedom do not go unnoticed. So with that being said, this is in no particular order. Commissioner Monroe Gildersleeve served in the Army as a rank of CW4. Commissioner Gildersleeve, if you'd come forward. Commissioner Robert G. Nichols, Army Command Sergeant Major. Commissioner Wallace Redd, Army Sergeant. Commissioner Ron Sokol, Army First Sergeant. Commissioner Joe Creek, Army, CW4. Tommy J. Vallejos, Army, Infantry, SFC. Charlie King, Commissioner, National Guard. I said Commissioner. Jason Hodges, United States Marine Corps. And Commissioner John Genus, Army Sergeant Major. All right, next up, if I could have the Clarksville High School girls soccer team to come forward, or however many of you are here. Is Coach Jordan here? Jordan? You don't think so? Are y'all embarrassed? Just a little bit? So this is like y'all's third trip to the state tournament. Last year you were runner-up. Year before that you won the state championship, and then you went back and you brought it back home to Montgomery County again. So I think we need to give y'all a round of applause. Ladies, this is just a very small token of, it's a certificate of achievement to the Clarksville High School girls soccer team. On behalf of Montgomery County, congratulations to Coach Jeff Jordan and the Clarksville High School girls soccer team for bringing home their second class AAA state championship. It is with great pride that I, along with Montgomery County Board of Commissioners, present you with this certificate of achievement. This accomplishment is a result of your dedication and hard work. You are indeed an inspiration to others, and we are proud to have you as citizens of this great community. Congratulations. Thank y'all. And now if we could have the Clarksville High School girls golf team to come forward. Another state championship. So I'm not sure if I know y'all stats, but I think last year were y'all in the state finals? Did y'all finish second? fifth the year before that? Okay. Well, again, I have this, I think it's awesome. We're recognizing 2 state champions from our high school today out of all the high schools across the state of Tennessee. So this is a certificate of achievement to the Clarksville High School girls golf team. On behalf of Montgomery County, congratulations to Coach J.T. Batson and the Clarksville High School girls golf team for bringing home their 3rd class AAA state golf championship. It is with great pride that I, along with the Montgomery County Board of Commissioners, present Maria Smith, the individual state champion. Maria, raise your hand so everybody know who you are. Riley Cooper, McKinley Cunningham, Cameron Waltman, and Kaylee Robinson, Madison Averett, and Cassidy Marcombe. With this certificate, this accomplishment is a result of your dedication and hard work. You're indeed an inspiration to others, and we're proud to have you as citizens of this great community. Ladies, congratulations. Thank y'all. And next is a champion of a little bit different sorts. Most of you know that Montgomery County has an animal control department, and the kind folks at Madison Street Lowe's have basically adopted our animal control department. They went down there over the course of a 3 or 4 day period and basically painted the whole facility. They did so many improvements outside the dog kennels. They put tops on them. They provided a walking path. So if the folks from Madison Street Lowe's would come forward. So I also have a certificate of appreciation for y'all. This is to the Madison Street Lowe's. On behalf of Montgomery County, thank you to Nathan Clark for providing your services, employees, supplies, free of charge for the enhancement of the Montgomery County Animal Care and Control Facility. You and your volunteers transformed the facility's atmosphere with fresh paint, new lobby seating, outside kennel covers, landscaping, and so much more. A huge thank you goes to the Madison Street Lowe's, Nathan Clark, Christy Downs, Melissa James, Matt Colville, Gwen Kegler, and Lisa Farmer. We sincerely appreciate your hard work and dedication to this project and to Montgomery County. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all. Oh, man. All right, our first item of business is our approval of the October 10, 2016 minutes. Is there a motion for approval? Commissioner Riccone, second. Commissioner Butts. Any discussion on our minutes, October 10, 2016? Who? Commissioner Harper.
Yes, Mayor. There's a slight adjustment. There was Joe Wyatt was mentioned as District 4 several times, but then there was a District 7 in the minutes
Okay.
that he was seated, if we just make that amendment to it.
I don't have them in front of me, but we will make that change. If,
Okay.
without objection, we'll vote on it per Mr. Harper's change without doing a formal amendment. Any other discussion? If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 21 yeses, 0 nos, 0 abstentions.
Thank you, ma'am. We're now considering our zoning resolutions. The first one is CZ 18-2016, application of Clinton Barger from R1 to R1A. This was deferred from our October meeting. Is there a motion for approval? Commissioner Nichols, is there a second? Commissioner Gannon, any discussion on CZ 18-2016? Commissioner Harper.
Thank you, Mayor. Just wanted to inform the commission, had conversations with Mr. Barger, and some of the issues we feel like have been resolved, so I'd like you to vote for this zoning change. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Harper. Okay, thank you. Any other discussion on CZ 18-2016? If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 20 yeses, 0 nos, 1 abstention.
Thank you, ma'am. Next is CZ 19-2016, application of Shannon Wilford from AG to E1. Is there a motion for approval? Commissioner Baggett, second. Commissioner Harper. Any discussion on CZ 19-2016? If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 21 yeses, 0 nos, 0 abstentions.
Thank you, ma'am. CZ 20-2016, application of William Wachowski from AG to AGC. Is there a motion for approval? Commissioner Jason Hodges, is there a second? Commissioner Genus, any discussion on CZ 20-2016? Commissioner Arnold Hodges.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, this has been a very trying zoning issue with me, and I know the constituents of District 6. It was all laid out here last week to everybody. They saw the concerns of the citizens as far as fires, explosions, because you've got lots of explosive material on the property, and the citizens' concerns. That's, to me, the most important issue that we have here tonight. I've talked to hundreds of people. My phone is ringing off the wall emails, and these people are all against it, and I know where they're coming from, and I'm standing with them 100%. I'd like to turn to the crowd if I could, Mayor, and I mean, I'd like to see how many people here tonight is for this zoning issue. If you are, would you please stand up? Thank you. If you're against it, would you please stand? Thank you. Well, upon this, and several hundred people signed this petition wanting to keep it out of their community, because this is a rural community. And these fellows, I've met with them, they're nice gentlemen, and I just think they're in the wrong spot. They should have been in a commercial area somewhere. But, so we'll see here tonight what happens. But I strongly encourage these other 20 commissioners to think about these people here. They have rights too. And as you vote, hopefully you'll stand for them. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner Hodges. Commissioner Brockman?
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to remind this body that, as I have been told many times over the years that I have been here, that once we make this change, we have no say-so on what happens after that. I would ask you all to vote against this. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Commissioner Nichols?
Thank you, Mayor.
Last week, we had some flyers that were passed around, and we had not been given information about the fungi or fungus. I would like someone to, of the folks that are requesting this resolution to give an explanation of the fungus that were shown on the illustration, please.
Without objection from the commission, I'll ask someone from the, please come forward.
And Commissioner, that's new information because it was not discussed. We just received a handout.
Okay, thank you. Yes, we took this concern very,
If you
very...
don't mind, just tell them who you are.
Of course. My name is Dustin Galt. I live in District 2, but I am partners in this endeavor to get the property rezoned to ag commercial. We took this concern very, very seriously. And what I did was I reached out to as many mycologists and biologists as I could find at area universities, 5 total. 4 of them were willing to go on the record, and I'll just quickly state what was said. Essentially, the concern about this fungus is not a reasonable objection to the proposed distillery. Because of state and federal regulations, we're too far away from the nearest neighbors, and we're too small of an operation to ascribe a possible effect from a naturally occurring growth that we see everywhere already. To verify the position, I did reach out to the scientific community, 2 PhD professors in the biology department here at Austin Peay State University. We had 1 PhD professor at MTSU in Murfreesboro and 1 PhD professor at the Tennessee Technological University in Cookeville, all willing to provide feedback. I'm happy to read exactly what they said, but to paraphrase, there is no data to make them believe that the fungus would grow anywhere other than as it normally does near our facility. Dr. Daly also said likewise he could not find any information on the fungus being harmful or pathogenic. Dr. Sarah Bergman said that there's plenty of scientific papers to support our claim. And then finally, at Dr. Bergman's suggestion, we spoke to Dr. Walker, biology professor at Tennessee Tech, who also agreed. So I feel like this is not a valid concern as supported by the scientific community.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mayor.
Commissioner Wyatt?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'm not used to sitting down when I talk. So, I don't know
It's
why
pretty obvious.
I don't know why you made these mics like that. Maybe I need to, though. Well, no, I believe you can hear me. This is about 1.5 miles from my own district. And really, the way things are out here, it's all the same little community. And it's a very, very close community. In fact, I have never lived there. But I intend to be buried there. I have family there. I used to be a youth director at the church out there. Just these, type of things. And I'm out there all the time. And Saturday I was out there about half the day, and I talked to several people. I stopped at 4 different stores and bought 4 different drinks that I didn't drink, just to be able to talk to people. And there are not any stores on Marion Road. There's not a place to buy a tank of gas or even a gallon of milk. And they're saying that this is a state highway, but it's more like Dotsonville Road or maybe Lawwood Road, something like that. It's a 2-lane, country road, really. Just a few things that have not been said. Of course, we've heard from the churches. And there are many other reasons why this should be voted down. Number one, this is not agricultural at all. This seems to be a loophole, and I do know about loopholes. There is truly nothing agricultural about it. It was said last week that corn is being used here, and then someone said, well, Johnson & Johnson uses corn. Dow uses corn. All these big companies turn corn and other crops into plastics and things like this. We all know that. But what is happening here is these operations are trying to be crammed into 22 acres between a bunch of houses. And they're on every side, across, to the side, a little further back to the rear. I actually pulled in the driveway. I was afraid of the law, so I didn't go back further. But we need to stop and look at this. Once we pass this, I'm sure that there will be other people, other proprietors, partnerships coming forward wanting to use what we did tonight to open their own distillery. And the current state of the law is that they can make 1,000 barrels a month. And these are not buckets, these are 55-gallon drums. 1,000 of those a month. And that is not a small operation. That is not a small batch, whiskey distillery. Maybe it is by federal regs. I haven't checked that. I'll just trust Mr. Galt on that. But the thing is, they also say that they won't serve samples out on Marion Road between these houses. But it's legal to right now. And things could change next week if their business plan changes. They also say that they won't sell any of the jars, any of the bottles. They're on the premises for consumption elsewhere, which means at the end of Marion Road, before they get to, Ramblewood, they could possibly be intoxicated. We don't know. Or they could take some down to the teenagers, at the church parking lot or something. Who knows, a school parking lot. There is not a grocery store out that way. There isn't one after you cross the bridge, really, and unless you count Hilltop. But if you go straight out to the Dixon line, and then if you're going to go straight to the Houston County line, there aren't any stores, and there's certainly not any liquor stores. But there could be a situation where there's a place you can stop off and get a little drink. So that is why the people are concerned, and that is why we've all heard from them. They're in this to make profit, and I would be too. Maybe I'll open one of these one day, but it won't be out there. And it won't be in a place where the woods could catch fire. It would be somewhere where if a fire did start, and I mean, that's a little bit doomsday, but if the fire did start, well, it wouldn't matter if it burned a little bit, till the 2 tanker trucks could get there. Right now, as I say, we have 2 tankers that serve this, so the Cunningham Volunteer Fire Department. And they have to go and suck water out of ponds and creeks if there is a fire. And I've seen one. I've seen a barn fire that they've had a hard time with. They're on a rural water system. And as I said, their business plan would change, as most of them do, as they grow and they actually begin to see a profit. So these are the reasons that I feel that the people over here are against this, and I would ask you to vote no. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner White. Commissioner Vallejos.
Thank you, Mayor. Commissioners, tonight we are tasked to vote on a rezoning issue that involves a distillery. While I am for property rights, when do the people's rights come first? It is the citizens of Montgomery County who ask us to be their voice, just like America voted last week to have their voice heard. The gentleman stated the experts on the fungi or fungus or whatever he called it, but we know what the experts, we know how the experts fared out last week. According to the utility district, the water system is not designed for fire protection. The nearest fire hydrant is approximately 1 mile. Should this property need a fire department, that would come from an all-volunteer fire department, which is not on call. I think it's important for us to remember that. Also, by statute, a volunteer fire department is not allowed to directly connect to a fire hydrant. This due to potential pressure problems. They must allow the hydrant to freely flow into a portable basin, into the pump, and then into the truck, causing delays in the response time. Tonight, Let's stand with the citizens that have come from us from all our districts. Many of these citizens go to these churches who are very historical in our county. They were born and raised in that area, but many of them live in our district, but continue to attend their respective churches. While it's not about ideology, it's about principle, the people's principle. It's about the people's rights. It's about outstanding. And tonight, I'm asking you to stand. Stand with the people, and let's vote down this rezoning. It's because what they're asking us to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Vallejos. Commissioner Nichols.
Thank you, Mayor. One of the things that the County Commission did in February was vote for the regulation changes for the county. We're going to need to readdress those because this small distillery is authorized in the county, and there's an overwhelming support against this. We in this body voted that a small distillery can go in the county. There's multiple reasons of why, by the public and by fellow commissioners, why it should not. So however the vote goes, Mayor, I recommend that we address this with Dr. Ripple of allowing a distillery, a small distillery of this nature, to even be in the county and direct it to be another area. That is a problem that we created ourselves. We voted on in February, and I think that we need to address that. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner Nichols. Commissioner Gannon?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor. I just have a question for Chief Buchanan, if he's here. I think he was here. I think I saw him earlier. There he is. Have you surveyed the fire protection area out there or this facility, and how does that look out there as far as fire protection that we've discussed and heard about in here?
Jerry, you might want to come down to the podium so everybody can hear you. Please, sir.
Commissioner, to answer your question is that it is true is that hydrant is about a mile away as far as closest to it. Yes, we shuttle water in, and yes, we can out-hook to a hydrant, but we have tankers that brings water in, so we can put probably 4,000 gallon of water on the scene within a matter of minutes, but yeah, we have to pull from a dump tank. So as far as fighting it, yes, we have the capability of fighting, but it does take us a while to get there since we're volunteer force.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Buchanan. Any other discussion on CZ 20-2016? We have a motion and a second. If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 4 yeses, 16 noes, and 1 abstention.
Thank you, ma'am. CZ 20-2016 fails. CZ 21-2016, application of Cecil Travis Jr. from R1 to C5. Is there a motion for approval? Commissioner Brockman, second. Commissioner Arnold Hodges. Any discussion on CZ 21-2016? If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 21 yeses, 0 noes, 0 abstentions.
Thank you, ma'am. CZ 22-2016, application of Stones Matter Properties, LLC, from AG to O1. Any discussion on CZ 22-2016? If you would, please register your vote.
Mayor, I'm sorry, we need a motion on that, please.
Oh, I kind of got ahead of myself. Is there a motion for approval for CZ 22-2016? Commissioner Vallejos, second. Commissioner Gannon. Now, is there any discussion on CZ 22, 2016? If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 20 yeses, 0 nos, 1 abstention.
Thank you, ma'am. Our next item on the agenda are our resolutions. Our first resolution is 1611-1, resolution of Montgomery County Board of Commissioners authorizing the acceptance of grant funds from the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security, Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Is there a motion for approval? Commissioner Harper, second. Commissioner Baggett, any discussion on 1611-1? If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 21 yeses, 0 nos, 0 abstentions.
Thank you, ma'am. Resolution 1611-2, resolution to accept federal grant funds from the Bureau of Justice Assistance State Criminal Alien Assistance Program. Is there a motion for approval? Commissioner Brockman, second. Commissioner Riccone, any discussion on 1611-2? If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 21 yeses, 0 nos, 0 abstentions.
1611-3, resolution to amend the budget to include the 2016-17 contribution to the Regional Transit Authority of Middle Tennessee. Is there a motion for approval? Commissioner Tooley, is there a second? Commissioner Gannon, any discussion on 1611-3? If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, if you would, please tally the vote.
You have 21 yeses, 0 nos, 0 abstentions.
Thank you, ma'am. We have no items under unfinished business. Under our reports, the county clerk's report, this will require approval by the commission. Ms. Jackson, would you please read the county clerk's report?
Comes Kelly A. Jackson, County Clerk, Montgomery County, Tennessee, and presents the County Clerk's report for the month of October 2016. I hereby request that the persons named on the list of new applicants to the office of Notary Public be elected. The oath of the elected county commissioner and the oaths of the sheriff's deputies and the deputy county officials are approved as taken. This report shall be spread upon the minutes of the Board of County Commissioners. You received your list of notaries last week. You do not have any that are signed by personal surety, and you do not have any names that need to be read into the bonds, for bonds.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there a motion for approval for the clerk's report? Commissioner Creek, second. Commissioner Keene, any discussion on the clerk's report? If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 21 yeses, 0 nos, 0 abstentions.
Thank you, ma'am. Under reports filed, you'll see in bold on your agenda from our informal meeting, we have 3 additional reports: the Accounts and Budgets monthly report, the trustees report, and the report on the debt obligation. Under the nominating committee nominations, Commissioner Nichols.
Mayor. Commissioners, we have 5 committees and 5 nominations for those committees. The first committee is the Agriculture Extension Committee. Commissioner Joe Wyatt is nominated to fill the unexpired term of Commissioner Mark Riggins. His term will expire January 2018. The Economic and Community Development Board, Joe Wyatt's nominated to fill the unexpired term of Commissioner Mark Riggins. His term will expire August 31st, 2018. The Jail and Juvenile Committee also is Joe Wyatt, nominated to fill the unexpired term of Commissioner Mark Riggins, and his term is to expire January 2017. The Legislative Liaison Committee, we have Larry Riccone, nominated to fill the unexpired term of Commissioner Mark Riggins, and his term will expire July 2018. And for the Nominating Committee, we have Commissioner Joe Creek, nominated to fill the unexpired term of Commissioner Mark Riggins, and his term will expire 2018. And Mayor, that's in a form of a motion.
There's a motion. Is there a second? Second, Commissioner Butts. Any discussion? Commissioners, I think Commissioner Nichols mentioned this the other night. The Rules Committee, we're going to ask them to look into this. And several commissioners, I know you are probably more versed on this than I am, but we have 3 or 4 committees that are done by districts. We have so we'll have a good makeup of our full county on those. I think the nominating committee is one. I think the ag committee is one. Nominating committee, legislative liaison committee, and we've kind of got those out of whack a little bit because of the redistricting that occurred. And somebody helped me. Well, I've heard it occurred a few years back, and so we're going to ask the Rules Committee to look at that because I think we owe it to our constituents to have broad representation on those committees. So I just wanted to bring that up, Commissioner Nichols, as a point of reference for the entire commission, because that is something that the Rules Committee will be looking at their next meeting. And I would encourage you, if you had input regarding that matter, to please attend that meeting. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Commissioner Harper?
Mr. Chairman, would it be prudent for us to defer those nominations when some of those may be changed based on what the Rules Committee does?
That would be up to this body.
Yeah, make the motion for the ones that. Which ones is that?
I don't know that on the Legislative Liaison Committee, I don't know that we have anything.
Yeah.
That committee will not be meeting anytime soon. Obviously, the nominating committee does meet about every month.
I'd like to defer the nomination of the Ag Committee as well as the Legislative and the Nominating Committee until the Rules Committee meets.
Is that in the form of a motion?
It is as jumbled as it is.
Is there a
Yes.
second? Any discussion on the motion to amend and not to make the appointments to the Ag Extension, to the Legislative Liaison, and the Nominating Committee? Commissioner Keene? Oh, okay. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I think it's only nominating and school liaison. It's only nominating and school liaison.
According to Ms. Gentry, it's only nominating and school liaison. It's not the Ag Committee. I don't have my book in front of me.
That's fine.
So, would you like to make that as a friendly amendment to your motion?
I would.
And Mr. Keene, would you entertain that as your second? So, Ms. Jackson, you tracking us?
Do you
So
have,
it's just the nominating and the Legislative Liaison Committee? School liaison.
and school liaison?
Well, it's
Okay.
not even on here. So it's just the nominating committee. Mr. Harper, you're going to amend down to the nominating committee. Thank you.
Yes, I would. Thank you.
Commissioner Keene, I apologize for the confusion. Any discussion? And the amendment is just to the nominating committee. Nomination will not be part of this that we're voting on. So we're voting on the amendment. The amendment is to eliminate the nominating committee from the original nomination, which included the Ag Extension, Economic and Community Development, Jail and Juvenile, Legislative Liaison. So we're voting on the amendment to remove the nominating committee. If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 20 yeses, 0 nos, 1 abstention.
Thank you, ma'am. Now we're voting on the nominating committee's motion as amended to eliminate the nominating committee. Is there a motion for approval? Commissioner Vallejos. Is there a second? Commissioner Arnold Hodges. Any discussion? If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 19 yeses, 0 nos, 2 abstentions.
Under the county mayor nominations for Community Corrections Advisory Board, Ann Kroger's nominated to replace Shannon Miller for a 3-year term to expire November 2019. Court Center Committee, Commissioner Joe Creek is nominated to serve another 3-year term to expire November 2019. Judicial Commissioner John Dennis Bushnell, part-time, nominated to serve another 1-year term to expire November 2017. And Veteran Service Organization, Dave Cooper's been filling an unexpired term, is now eligible to be nominated to serve his first full 4-year term to expire November 2020. And Dewey Browder is nominated to serve another 4-year term to expire November 2020. And if we could take all of those in one motion. Is there a motion for approval, Commissioner Vallejos? Yeah, those are appointments. We have a motion and a second. Did you get the second, Ms. Jackson? Commissioner Butts?
No, sir. I've got it now. Thank you.
Any discussion on the county mayor nominations? If you would, please register your vote. Commissioner Vallejos, would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, if you would, please tally the vote.
We have 21 yeses, 0 nos, 0 abstentions.
Under county mayor appointments, commissioners, I told y'all I would hopefully have somebody for the budget committee. I have not had a chance to talk to any commissioners about this. I'd like to do that. I'm going to defer that to December. Montgomery County Fair Commissioner, Commissioner Joe White, appointed to fill the unexpired term of Commissioner Mark Riggins, term to expire August 2018. Residential Development Commission, Commissioner Garland Johnson, appointed to fill the unexpired term of Commissioner Mark Riggins, term to expire January 2018. In the SMR Municipal Solid Waste Region Board, and this one we do need to vote on this one. It'll be Commissioner Ed Baggett, appointed to replace Commissioner Joe Creek for a 6-year term to expire November 2022. Is there a motion to approve the SMR Municipal Solid Waste Region Board? Commissioner Brockman, second. Commissioner Jason Hodges. Any discussion? If you would, please register your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Ms. Jackson, would you please tally the vote?
You have 20 yeses, 0 nos, 1 abstention.
Thank you, ma'am. We have 3 announcements. Just a reminder, the Civic Plaza groundbreaking is tomorrow at 4:00 p.m. The Christmas parade will be on December 3rd at 5:00 p.m. If you'd let Debbie Gentry know as soon as possible if you plan on riding the Commissioner's float. And the following offices are participating in collecting non-perishable food items for Loaves and Fishes through November 8th. If you would like to donate, they would greatly appreciate it. That's the Emergency Management Office, Sheriff's Office, Mayor's Office, VSO, Purchasing, the Library, Human Resources, Engineering, and EMS at Hayes Street and Station 22 on Warfield Boulevard. That's all of our announcements. Do we have any further business? I'll call on Sheriff Fuson to adjourn us.
Rise. Oh yes, this Honorable Board of County Commissioners now stands adjourned. May God save this state and this Honorable Board of County Commissioners.